Warning, there are profanity, topics, and other opinions that could offend you. Please watch and or listen at your own risk, and enjoy the show. Hey guys, what's up? It's R-DiK here, or Old School Duelist 12, whatever you want to call me, and welcome back to another amazing episode of the Voidcast, where no topic is off the table. This week we got a lot to talk about here on the Voidcast. A lot of things are going on, news-wise, things are getting out there. Companies are starting to put out more information that we want to hear. Some of it is kind of like meh, but and a little bit of speculation. But anyways, moving on, this week we got a lot to talk about. Like I said, we're going to talk about Pokemon's new mobile game being created by DNA. We're also going to be talking about the Yu-Gi-Oh game for I'm going to be doing like a official final review, whatever the hell you want to call it, because I've been playing it for about 2 weeks. So I feel like I've got a pretty good grasp on the idea and my feelings about the games. Excuse me. Then we're also going to be talking about Oculus's new helmet, the Oculus Quest. And then we're going to be talking about Monster Hunter World's new expansion, Iceborne. Then the final thing we're going to be talking about is Nintendo, Final Fantasy, and E3. Those three things all have something in common. So, if you're excited for all of that and more, stay tuned. So before we jump into the topics that I mentioned earlier, I just wanted to quickly tell a couple of stories that kind of happened to me and during the week, and I was kind of like, what? Why? The first one is a super duper quick story. I saw a fucking Porsche drive into concrete. It was a fresh thing of concrete. I was driving back home from dropping my sister off at work. And, he drove into fucking concrete. Just a fresh thing of concrete. Nice. It looked like a nice, fresh, maybe just got washed Porsche white. And, yeah, it was like, what the fuck, dude? How? And there was, oh, excuse me. But there was, tons of cones, stopping you from driving into the fucking concrete. How the fuck do you drive into the fucking concrete? Oh, my God. And it was, perfect. Just kind of, right in the hole. And it was, oof, man, it must have sucked for the people that had to go back and fix it, but Jesus Christ, that just sucks, man. It looked like it got all up into, the brakes and possibly, the engine or exhaust or anything like that. If you don't get that shit out of there, ASAP, dude, you have some fucking issues on your hand. So, oof, that's all I gotta say. And the other quick story is another reason why I don't fucking like talking to randoms. Just strangers, leave me the fuck alone. What was it? I was at work the other night, and I've said this before, I deliver bread and donuts and shit for a grocery store. Well, it's one of my jobs I do for that grocery store, but it's this lady is walking by, and she says, oh, that's where all the bread's at. All the dough. And then she goes, give me all that dough. If you were being robbed, that's what they could say. Oh, my God. I was like, this lady, just go away. Just go away. And then, another random lady was walking past me. She's like, that was so bad. Oh, my God. I hate fucking random people so much. Okay, I feel better. But yeah, so we're going to move on. Now those terrible quick stories are out of the way. Let's move on to the important topics. Before we do that, I'm going to do my normal shout-out that I'm going to do. If you guys, I want to give a huge shout-out to audioboom.com. They're not the sponsor, but I still like to give them a huge shout-out. If you guys want to have your own podcast, of your own, then you can go to audioboom.com, sign up for the lowest tier, $10 a month. You can upload to their website, as well as they give you the tools to upload to plenty of other platforms: iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, Stitcher Radio, TuneIn Radio, almost anywhere that you can put a podcast, excluding YouTube and SoundCloud. Those are two separate entities that you can upload on your own. But everywhere else, basically, that a podcast exists, they give you the tools to upload to it. And it's amazing. I love them. They're possibly the best website I've ever worked with. So if you guys want to start your own podcast, just like I did, go to audioboom.com and sign up today. So, first thing we're going to talk about is I'm going to do this, I'm going to talk about Yu-Gi-Oh! Legacy of the Duelist Link Evolution. I talked about it last week, like, kind of, sort of, like, I did talk about it. And here's my final thoughts on the game, because I've played it for about 2 weeks now. And I feel 2 weeks is a decent amount of time to really grasp the feeling of a game, and like your thoughts on it. So it does a really, really good job of giving you the playing Yu-Gi-Oh. Its ban list is a little bit weird, and like I'm not used to it, but if you think about it, it is a worldwide game, so they have to include stuff from the TCG and the OCG, so basically like America and Japan. Like, that's to sum it up for you guys, for people that don't know what the TCG and OCG is, America and Japan's ban list, because Yu-Gi-Oh! Has a ban list. So it's weird, but I'm used to it. Like, I'm getting used to that ban list and what I can and can't play. Luckily, it literally just tells you, like, hey, this card's banned, or hey, this card's only at 1. Stuff like that, so it's really easy to keep in mind. It plays really well. I think it's only every once in a while I get like a frame rate drop and it just chugs a tiny bit, but for the most part, it plays really nicely. I love it. It's tons of fun. What is it? The card base, like, it has a shit ton of cards for you to play with, and that is awesome and is amazing. But it does kind of suck that it doesn't have up-to-date cards, so I can't because it goes up to Savage Strike. I think it's like the cutoff is right before Savage Strike, so it has everything archetypes all the way up to that. It's roughly like 9,000 cards, so that's pretty fucking cool. So it sucks that Dangers, I can't really play Dangers. They are nowhere to be found. Is that about it? Yeah. It has Sky Strikers, it has Thunder Dragons, so just Dangers aren't in it. So like Savage Strike and Up is the cards that we're missing. So that's meh. It's not terrible, but it's also nice because I don't have to do it fucking Dangers. Because I'm not a huge fan of Dangers. My biggest complaints about the game is it has crashed on me. I briefly mentioned that in last week's episode, but it has crashed on me, multiple times. Not like consistently, where it's like every time I do a specific action, it'll crash every time I do that action. It's just more so random crashes, and like that's a tad frustrating. At times, because maybe it was like every once in a while. Like I think in total it's only crashed on me maybe 3 or 4 times, and in a span of 2 weeks that can seem like a lot, but I still get plenty of fucking hours out of it. Like prior to it, most of the time it hasn't. Like only once I think it was like I was mid duel and it crashed. All the other times I was maybe like mid card shop, like getting ready to buy a pack, or I was like getting ready to go work on a deck or something. Nothing. It auto saves a lot, so you don't really basically prior to that duel, the deck work, or maybe the pack opening, you will lose you'll lose your save data, but it saves a lot. Basically, almost every time you do something, it saves. So that's really nice. So when it does crash, at most you lose your progress in a duel. Or you have to rebuy a pack or something. So, oh well. But yeah, it's like I said, it saves a lot, so you don't really lose your progress. So the crashing isn't that detrimental. It's more so just an annoyance. It's just an annoying thing you have to deal with. The story is playing through the anime is pretty cool. If you haven't seen the anime or anything, or haven't seen certain parts of the anime, the online play, comparing the online play from this to the original Legacy of the Duelist. The original Legacy of the Duelist, that multiplayer online was absolute horseshit. It was just straight up garbage. The multiplayer online in this is a lot better. I hadn't played it much. I've only done a couple of online duels. That's mostly because I just don't have the cards that I want for competitive play on there. It's comparing this to Legacy of the Duelist, comparing Link Evolution to the original Legacy of the Duelist online, it is a lot better. There's local multiplayer. I mean, that's I was actually surprised, but yet I wasn't surprised at the same time. Mostly because like I didn't think that was gonna be a thing. I thought maybe it would be like online, if you wanted to play online, but there's local. So like if I had my Switch and say James had his Switch, we could play together like in the same room and not need Wi-Fi. So that was nice. And like the online actually works. Like yeah, it fucking works. It's like sometimes, like my biggest issue I had with the online in Original Legacy was I was trying to play with someone online. We played against each other in a casual match. Then we added each other, and then we wanted to start a game. Just play like as friends together. And we never got it to work because the button never existed. We could get into the lobby, but we couldn't start the duel. I've yet to run into that issue, so that's a good thing. Another big gripe of mine is the animations. To be honest, it's not that they're terrible. They don't look that bad, to be honest. Like some of them are kind of like oof, and some of them are still really, really good and still really like good looking. I just wish there was a way to turn them off because when I say if I play Decode Talker, every time I summon Decode Talker, it will summon. Like every fucking time the animation will play. And I think in one duel I summoned Decode Talker 3 times. And every time the animation played. And that was kind of shitty. It was really annoying. The other issue, I think that's about all the issues I really had in the game. Oh, here's my other issue. There is like no consistent way to get the cards. So what do I mean by that is like the only way you can really get cards is you do duels, you get in-game currency, and then use that in-game currency in the card shop and buy packs. Or you can do duels against people, against the AI and stuff like that, and you can obtain cards from their decks, copies of their cards. So like if you win against someone who was playing Blue Eyes, you have a 1 in 40 chance. No, you have a 3 in 40 chance of getting that card from their deck. Not like actually they lose it type of situation, like because it's AI. But you get a copy of it for your own. Other than that, there's no real way to get singles. It's kind of just buy packs, so it's kind of like play a bunch of duels, get a bunch of currency, and then just focus on one pack. There is a quick farming way to just like farm some decks for like DP or just cards from the deck, and that is you duel the character, get their challenge mode deck, because there's the story mode, the single player like plays through the animes, and then there's the challenge decks, which you play against the characters, and some of them will have different decks, like some character that which normally would play like say super heavy samurais in the anime. In the challenge mode they might play 6 samurais. I know that's just literally a bunch of words to some people, but whatever. And you could literally just duel them and get cards from their 6 samurai deck. But what some people do is the way to farm it is they go into it, start the duel, and then surrender right away, and then you'll get anywhere from 500 to 999 DP, which that's the in-game currency. And then you get 1 card. So if you just do that a bunch, eventually you will get their deck. It's a slow process, but you can gain a lot of DP from that, and you can gain a lot of cards from that. So basically just find out what cards they're playing in their deck. Like if they're playing hand traps or they're playing Blue Eyes, you literally just duel them until you have 3, and you just keep surrendering until you have 3 copies of Blue Eyes. It's a cheap way to do it and really annoying to me because it's kind of like takes away the fun. But if you want to practice a deck, it's also a good way to gain some DP as well as get cards as well if you want to practice a deck. So that's kind of not frustrating, but it's more so an annoying way to grind. So yeah, there's that. Yeah, overall, I think the game is tons of fun, and I've gotten plenty of hours, and I'm still playing. I'm still current, not right now, while recording, but I'm still currently playing the game, and I'm probably going to be playing the game for a while because I'm still trying to get a competitive deck. It's a lot harder than you think, because unlocking things takes a long, because only certain character packs will have cards in it, obviously. So you have to play up to them, play up to their duel, then you get their pack, and then you can start opening the pack, and then you still have to play more to get in-game currency to buy more packs. It's a fucking annoying process, but it works, so that's cool. Moving on, like I said, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say more, but anyway, yeah, the game is really fun, tons of fun. When it comes out, if you're waiting for it to come out in the US, then I definitely say pick it up if you enjoy playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Because it is a fun time. It is like, genuinely, you could have a good time playing the game. And it's on the Switch, so it's like you can take the game on the go, you could play Yu-Gi-Oh! On the go, like almost at any time. If you can have Wi-Fi access, boom, you can play online. You can even play online. I think personally, if Yu-Gi-Oh! Say they could add TCG modes, they could add OCG modes. Like if Yu-Gi-Oh! Really, or Konami really wanted to prosper from this game, here is their biggest opportunity to have a simulator. Because the Switch is really starting to become a household console, like it is a normal console that everyday people are starting to get. I say that weird, but I'm saying it's more. It's the console's getting into more households. Basically, what I'm getting at. I just said it in a really fucking weird and stupid way. Anyways, since the console is starting to get more and more out there, like more and more people are starting to buy it, Konami has a golden opportunity right here to continue to have their Hearthstone or their Magic the Gathering, Ravnica, whatever the one is for PC or whatever. This is their golden moment. Even if it's expansions that people have to buy, or like DLC like they were doing before where they give you full-on decks you can buy and just more duels, it's their golden opportunity. This is hardcore their golden opportunity. I highly doubt it, but at the same time, if Konami wants, they could implement a TCG mode where it has the TCG ban list, or they can have an OCG mode where it has the OCG ban list. They could have it to where when a pack comes out, they could literally have this pack expansion come out, charge $5 or $10. Hell, you charge $10 or something like that. It'll add all the cards in it, but you have to buy it from packs. That would make total sense. And they could keep this game alive and have their Yu-Gi-Oh! Simulator game that is you buy, and would be totally worth it. But Konami's dumb when it comes to video games, and they just say, we're going to put out a video game, make a quick buck off of it, and move on to the next project. So, but that's just me. That's just my personal opinion, and I don't think Konami is going to do that. But it's still a fun game. Like, I still enjoy it. I am still having tons of fun with it. So if you guys if you're waiting for the US release, then we don't know a date, but just be prepared to buy it, and it'll probably be around roughly $30. But if you want to go through the process of buying it early through the Japanese store, the Japanese eShop, then I think it's worth it. It's about a 30-minute process to get everything set up and find your yen eShop cards, and creating an account and everything, and going through the process of waiting for it. It's not that big of a game. It's about a 2 gig game, so that's really nice. But either way, if you want to go through the process, it's about a half hour to get it through to get it early through the Japanese eShop, or you can just wait till the summer when it comes out here in the West. I went through the process, I got it, and I don't regret it. It's fucking awesome. Moving on, the next thing we're going to talk about is the mobile Pokemon game that's being made by DNA. They also made Mario Jump. They're working on the new Mario Kart Tour. They made DNA also worked on the the Animal Crossing game. So it's not a company that we don't know. It's a company that's worked on Nintendo games. And they've been pretty successful games. So except for Mario Kart Tour, we know nothing about Mario Kart Tour except for it's Mario Kart on your phone. They do have an open beta, or a closed beta, that you can sign up for, and I was going to for the podcast, but I could not figure out how to sign up for it. I went to the website, I fucking scoured that website where the fuck to click, and I couldn't fucking figure it out, man. It was fucking stupid. Worst website I've ever been to. Literally no information is out there. They're just saying, hey, a new Pokemon mobile game. But it's we have Pokemon Go, so what else could they be doing? Like what besides making like adding a like say a core Pokemon mechanic to it instead of Pokemon Go mechanics, where you throw the Pokeball. It's more so maybe it could be using like you walk around, like they create a new region or something. I don't know. It's really interesting. There's no information really. It's all just mostly speculation. It's mostly here's the announcement: we're making a mobile Pokemon game that's not Pokemon Go, being made by DNA because Niantic makes Pokemon Go. So yeah, maybe it'll be more for the hardcore Pokemon people. Maybe it'll be behind like it'll be a lot of microtransactions to really prosper this game. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what happens and what more information comes out. So as information comes out for this game, then I will definitely be covering it because I love Pokemon. Moving on to the more bigger topics. The first bigger topic we're going to be talking about is the Oculus Quest. So the Oculus Quest is Oculus's new one of two new headsets. The other one is more so a higher, like a better version of their big like the Oculus Rift. I can't remember exactly what the new Rift headset, whatever it's called, but the Oculus Quest is what's new and awesome. And I think if you want a true VR, just a true VR moment or the experience, and you are really and you're serious about VR, then this is something that I think is well worth it and definitely is a shit ton more affordable. If you just want to try VR and then maybe move to this, then that makes sense too. It's just a lot more money because there's two different versions. There's a $399, which is 64 gigs, and then there's the $499, which I think it says 128 gigs. It is basically it is a no wires, everything in helmet VR headset that is comparable to like the Oculus Rift or the HTC Vive, but it's no wires. Like it's all built in house. It's as if it's that middle between, say, the Oculus Go and the Oculus Rift. The Oculus Go is more so a headset where it gives you a 3-point turn where you can turn around 360, look up and down, and you can move up and down. Like you can look, like you can turn your head up and down, as well as you can move up and move down. Like if you wanted to look under a table, you can get down to the ground and look under the table. That's the Oculus Go. And it does come with a controller, but it's more so a laser pointer for a hand, for a controller. But the Oculus Quest, which is something I am really, really looking into purchasing because it's awesome. It allows you to play games, and it gives you two controllers that are actual controllers. Like you can move your hands around in giant circles, and it'll move them in giant circles, not so one position and it's a laser pointer. These are actual controllers comparable to like the actual Rift controllers or the Vive controllers, and that's amazing. The other biggest step that puts it like in the middle is you can actually walk around. Like you draw out your area that you're going to be your walking area, and you can walk to that area, and it's fucking cool. That is just amazing. It offers 4 points, camera, like sensor cameras all around it. There's 4 points in the corners of like the headset, and that's really cool. So you like draw out, you can play games, like you can play Beat Saber on it, you can play Pirate, it's gonna have about 50 games on launch, and it launches May 21st. So when this episode goes up, it launches the weekend of, right? Because this episode goes up on the 13th, so it launches the Tuesday. Well, when this episode goes up, it launches in a week after, basically, when this episode goes up. So, oof. And for the price point of $400 for the lower tier memory one, that is more than worth it, I think personally. Because think about it, if you try to get a Vive or a Rift, those things cost about $400 to $800. Like, let's see. Let me look this up real quick. Oculus. Oh, it's the Rift S, basically. So the Rift cost, you can find it about $400 roughly for the Rift. But for the Oculus, but you also have to have a computer that's going to cost anywhere from $800 to $1,500 just to build it to run the Oculus Rift, which is insane. But that's the price you have to pay. But the Oculus Quest, $400, and everything's in house. The visuals, like what is it? It's not going to look as beautiful as the Oculus Rift, because it's doing I think it's like 4K or something like that. It's like pretty fucking high. It's like almost 4K. What is it now? What is it? No, I think it's like 1080p or like 12 something. Basically, pretty high definition visuals per eye, and this is still I think it's 720 per eye, which is still really, really good. As well as its power to be able to give you the chance to walk around. I think it's like a 15 by 15 for your box for your walk around, and it is a phenomenal piece of tech. And for VR, I think this is a huge step, because some games, say when you have the Vive or the Rift, you gotta have the wires, and sometimes some games, you have to be conscious of the wires. The fact that the wires aren't going to be there is just amazing. There is nothing that you can't hook up the Quest to your computer and use it normally. There's no setup for that. I think there's talk of that being a thing, but as of right now, there is no talk of that. Like, it is not plausible. You cannot do that. But still, $400, and you can have two actual controllers that aren't laser pointer for controllers. You actually get to walk around, way better definition and processing speed, and games in general, than say a Go or the Samsung VR. It is a massive machine, and it is just phenomenal and just amazing. It blows my mind that we are going to have a wireless headset where you don't need a computer, you don't need any of that, and you could do VR. For setting it up, from looking at reviews, people talking about it, who got their hands on it early for just to hype up the Quest. They did say you cannot play it outside because you need just good lighting and everything, like just normal good lighting. So it is definitely an indoor thing. But not too bright lighting, not too dark lighting. You need just right. It's just an amazing piece of tech. I love it. I love this. I love this. I love the fact that VR has hit this point where you could have good VR for $400 and not have to buy a computer. That just blows my mind. I know it's probably not going to be perfect at first, and you're going to see the people that do buy it, you're going to see them, the horror stories or stuff like that, or the bad reviews saying like, oh, this is a piece of shit. But I think overall this is a huge step for VR, and definitely makes it so VR will be could possibly be more of a household item and not just a niche thing that various people who have the money that they can spend on it to get it. So it's really interesting. Yeah, I'm definitely looking into buying it because I want it. I love VR. Don't get me wrong, my Samsung VR is still good and I still enjoy it, but this Quest, it's because I don't have the computer, nor do I have the funds to build the computer or buy the computer as of right now, to get the computer for, to eventually buy a Vive or a Rift. A Vive is probably what I'd buy, just because that's where most of the games are at. But it is something that I'm definitely going to be looking into buying for sure, just because it is just an amazing piece of tech. It's awesome. It is fucking an amazing. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. And I will buy one. One day soon I will, here in the before the end of the year, I will have an Oculus Quest. So I'm excited to buy it. I'm excited. I'm so excited. Guys have no idea. I'm super duper excited to buy this. So moving on to the next thing we're going to be talking about is Monster Hunter World. That is like the next topic I want to talk about. As you guys know, if you guys are, longtime listeners of the podcast, I am a huge Monster Hunter fan. I love Monster Hunter. Is probably my favorite franchise of all time. It used to be Halo, and then it used to be Zelda, then it was Halo. Then I was kind of going back and forth between Halo and Zelda. But now I think overall, I'm going to have to say Monster Hunter. Monster Hunter is by far my favorite gaming franchise that exists. And if I had a capture card, I definitely would be a Monster Hunter streamer. Where that's like predominantly what I stream. I mean, every once in a while I'd stream something else, but for the most part, it would be Monster Hunter for sure. Yeah, I could stream World off my Xbox, but I don't know, just World just doesn't sit right with me. I'd rather be known for like Generations, Monster Hunter Generations, Ultimate, like the original, basically original Monster Hunter mechanics. And don't get me wrong, World, I've talked about this before, World is a good game, but it's just something about Generations Ultimate that just speaks to me a lot more, and I enjoy it a lot more than World. Just a lot more freedom and a lot more stuff to play around with, plus it's also the original mechanics that I grew up on playing Monster Hunter. But we have the new expansion for Monster Hunter World. It is called Iceborne. It comes out September 6th. They showed off 4 of the new monsters. We have one that's basically, if you know Monster Hunter is a Zamtrios, it's essentially a Zamtrios where it kind of like hides underground and like moves like a shark. They didn't say the name for it. There's another one that kind of has horns that come off of it, and it kind of like pushes things. And then the other monster that is actually a long time. It's been around a while, so they decided to bring it over, and then is the Nargacuga. The Nargacuga is a really cool monster. I always liked its looks. I feel like it is a cool and a nice throwback monster, but they could have done so many other monsters. Like, they had such a bigger plethora and such a bigger demand for other monsters, i.e. me, the Lagambi. I love Lagambi. That is probably my favorite monster of all time. It's an adorable monster to fight. Yeah, that's really about it. It's like such an adorable monster. It's like a snow bunny that will just beat your ass. So that's really cool. They could have thrown that in there. It's just like a smaller monster. But they didn't. There is like maybe the Tigrex. The Tigrex is a longtime fan favorite of just the Monster Hunter community in general. Monster Hunter Capcom usually has given the Tigrex cool fights and cool areas to fight in, i.e. the snow biome. But the fact that the Tigrex wasn't chosen, the Nargacuga, like I said, the Nargacuga is a decent monster to have in there, and is a cool monster to introduce into the Monster Hunter World franchise. But they could have added other monsters. Like, they could have added other monsters that are just a lot more just notable, and like so many, like the base, like the hardcore Monster Hunter fan base that has been playing Monster Hunter for a long time, since PS2 era. PS2 era. The Tigrex, the Lagambi, a Zamtrios. They could have chosen so many other monsters to throw into the world. It kind of sucks. But, oh well. What can you do about it? It's still a good monster. It is a nice monster, a nice add-on to the addition to have part of the World franchise. Then they introduced the Ice Elder Dragon, the new Ice Elder Dragon that they are going to have in the franchise. I can't remember the name of it because I've only seen the trailer maybe once or twice. But it is, from the looks of it, it looked really cool. I mean, they only showed it for a brief second, but it is still a nice looking Elder Dragon, and I can't wait to play it on September 6th. I'm excited. I'm excited for Monster Hunter Iceborne. I may not be a giant World fan. I still enjoy World. I played it, I beat the game, and that was about it for me. That's about all I could really handle. Once Generation Ultimate came out, I was like, yeah, fuck World, Generation Ultimate's where it's at. Because on the Switch, I can take wherever I want and just better mechanics. Just Generation Ultimate is just the superior Monster Hunter game. By far, definitively, I will argue that till the end of time, it is the superior Monster Hunter game. More monsters, more mechanics, more armor, more maps. Just overall, it is just the better game. So yeah, it's anyways. Moving on. Like I said, Iceborne. I'm excited to play on September 6th. I'm pumped to fight some new monsters. And hopefully get back into Monster Hunter World for a little bit. I'll probably stream some of it. Some of my, maybe day one, stream some Iceborne. So if you guys are excited, let me know in the comments below or tweet at me at OSDuelist12. Tell me what your thoughts about it. The final thing that we are going to be talking about is Nintendo, Final Fantasy, and E3. So Nintendo dropped some of their, they revealed some of their plans for E3. The article that I'm going off of is off of Polygon. It is titled Nintendo Reveals E3 2019 Plan, including a new Nintendo Direct. My thing about this title is just no shit they're going to have a Nintendo Direct. It'd be a surprise if they didn't have a Nintendo Direct. But in the article they mentioned that they're still going to have their Treehouse, they're going to have a Smash tournament. I think they're having Splatoon tournament as well. And their Nintendo Direct. And the article also talks about the 2019 lineup, which includes Super Mario Maker 2, Fire Emblem 3 Houses, Astral Chain, Marvel Ultimate Alliance, The Black Order. Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3, The Black Order, Final Fantasy XI-S, Echoes of an Elusive Age, Definitive Edition. That is a fucking long-ass name. Animal Crossing for the Switch, Daemon X Machina, Luigi's Mansion 3, Pokemon Sword and Shield, and Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening. My thing, they're gonna have the Smash Brothers Ultimate World Championship 3v3, as well as the Splatoon 2 World Championship on June 8th. The Direct is, I think it said in here, June 11th at 9 a.m. Pacific time or 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And it's going to open this year's Gaming Expo. Wow. So on the first day of E3, they're going to have Nintendo. That's fucking awesome. So here's my thoughts about Nintendo's E3, like my speculation. I know the sooner we get up to it, the more information we might get on just some release dates, because that's what Nintendo tends to do. They kind of just throw out some stuff, like the littler things that's not so bad. They'll throw out information about it on Twitter or something. Like maybe they'll throw out like a release date for Animal Crossing, or a release date for Luigi's Mansion, but not give us the title, or vice versa. They give us the title for Animal Crossing and Luigi's Mansion, but not give us the date. So a lot of these games that are on here that are in this list are games they've given a date and they've already shown for. Super Mario Maker 2, Fire Emblem, Astral Chain, Marvel Alliance 3, Dragon Quest. Those are like the games that they've given dates, they've shown the game, like that's everything we know. For Luigi's Mansion, they've shown us gameplay, they haven't given us a date, they haven't given us an official title. Daemon X Machina, I think, actually now that I think about it, has an official date for being dropped. So that's another one that has a date. Animal Crossing, we've seen no gameplay. We only know it's coming this year. And that's about it. For Pokemon Sword and Shield, they've shown us very little. They've given us a name, they just said fall 2019. That's it. And Link's Awakening just says 2019. You've gotten the game. We know it's a port. We know it's a remaster. We've seen gameplay of it. But no specific date. So the main games I'm focusing on wanting some information for this year at E3 from Nintendo. Pokemon, Luigi's Mansion, Animal Crossing, even though I don't play Animal Crossing, and Zelda. Animal Crossing and Luigi's Mansion, I want a official name and date. And Zelda, and Pokemon, I want a date. I don't need a demo. I don't need any of that. Like, just give me a date so I know when to buy the games. Animal Crossing and Luigi's Mansion, those are games that are definitely going to be, like, out there where I'm just like, meh. If I buy them, I buy them. If I don't, I don't. Like, it's not going to bother me. I played Luigi's Mansion 1 and never beat it because I was a kid. Luigi's Mansion 2, I never played it. But, like, after talking to Luigi's Mansion fans, or, like, just basically looking at the reviews for Luigi's Mansions 2, it was a shit game, so I was like, oh, well, I guess I won't play it. But Zelda and Pokemon, those are two of my favorite franchises. They're not my favorite, but Zelda, I am such a huge Zelda fan. I love Zelda. My goal my bucket list goal is to play and beat every single Legend of Zelda game that's out there that exists. Pokemon, I just love playing Pokemon. I play Pokemon competitively, so I would like to know when Pokemon Sword and Shield comes out, so I can go buy it and play it bumped the microphone. Those are the two biggest games. Those two games are the two biggest games that I'm mostly concerned about and mostly worried about when it comes to this E3. Especially, and I've said this before, Pokemon needs to start hyping the game up even more. They put out we had the Pokemon Direct, and that was fucking it. We had it, and that's the only information we've ever gotten. We haven't gotten a legendary shown. We haven't even at least seen any other gameplay or seen any new Pokemon. Like, even one Pokemon, just throw out a picture of a new Pokemon officially. That's what we need. But no, we haven't gotten that. Not even Koro has given us anything. I've definitely stayed away from, like, the leakers, the Pokemon leaks, just because I don't care. Like, those aren't hard evidence, so I don't care. And it really annoys me. It really annoys me. The fact that is a thing that, leakers are out there saying, oh, here's a leak or a rumor, because after a while it literally just recycles itself when you're like, I don't fucking care. But we need the hype. E3, if they show some hype at E3 for Pokemon Sword and Shield, I want that hype train to keep chugging up, because if they give a release date, we need hype. We need more, like, we're gonna need just a new Pokemon, show off a character, saying like, hey, here's a perfect example. You show off a Pokemon, right? You just say, hey, this is Belorb. Okay, he's a fire water Pokemon. I know the only fire water Pokemon we have is Volcanion. But you say this is Belorb. He's a fire water Pokemon. And that's all the information they really give. It just shows off a random fucking fire water Pokemon. If you want to give us show him in the game to at least show what he looks like in the game, cool, that's it. And I'd be happy with that. And then, say a month later, they show a trainer, right? And they show him, and he's like, hey, this is Todd. He loves fire Pokemon. And you're like, oh shit, is he going to use Belorb? And then the month after that, it shows that he's like, oh, he's the fire gym leader. And then you show a screenshot, or you show a quick animation or, gameplay thing where it shows him throwing out Belorb. And you're like, oh shit, Todd uses Belorb. And then boom. And that's 3 months of fucking information. And that's really little, but it shows off what a gym leader looks like. It shows off a new Pokemon, what some of the new Pokemon looks like, and it shows off a possible typing that people can start thinking about. And then hell, you could even grow up the after those 3 months, you can show off the next evolution, the starter Pokemon. Boom! Look at that. They grew up in 4 months, and then on the day of E3. Hell, you could even do it up to E3, wait till E3, show off the next evolution of the Pokemon people, because just like they've always done with with E3, when a new Pokemon game is coming out, they show a new trailer for the Pokemon game. They also have a Treehouse Live talking about the new Pokemon game. If that doesn't happen this year, I am going to be really scared for Pokemon Sword and Shield. Not that it is like, I'm scared that it's going to be a bad game. I'm scared that they are not confident in what they're showing. I still have faith in Nintendo and Pokemon that are going to make a really good game for a new game for Switch, because it's like, then it feels like they're hiding things because of Let's Go. No, fuck that. You fucking throw that shit out there and you say, this is the Pokemon game that you guys are getting. Either enjoy it or fuck off. That's kind of what they did with Let's Go. They're just like, hey, here's the Pokemon game. And but the difference between, like, the one thing that felt weird to me for Pokemon Let's Go, which I still will argue Pokemon Let's Go is an amazing Pokemon game. I love it. I just wish it had more, I wish they put a little bit more work into it and, maybe added a second generation or put DLC for expansions, because Nintendo has already stated that they don't want to seem like they're a money-grubbing company. They want to show that they appreciate their fans and will put stuff out there at a reasonable price for their fans to buy. Yes, they're still a company, so they're still a company that needs to profit. So you can argue not maybe putting out Pokemon Let's Go Johto as a whole nother game instead of DLC or an expansion. But again, you can also argue that they could put it as a DLC or an expansion, because they want to put out a decent product for their fan base to show that they're not a money-grubbing company. They've stated in a straight-up article about Lost Regalia how they stated, yeah, they could have made tons more money and put out more microtransactions, but they didn't want to do that to their fans. They straight up said that. So yeah, I don't know. I'm rambling at this point, but because I'm just extremely passionate about Pokemon, and I'm extremely passionate I'm just one of those fans that just I'm extremely defensive when it comes to Pokemon, because they've proven time and time again that they appreciate their fan base. They do a lot of, sometimes it is fan service things, but they do things for the fans to show that they are listening to their fans and saying, hey, you guys make a good point, this is a good idea, let's put it out there. And it blows my mind when people say, oh, no, Pokemon would never do that, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, shut up. You obviously don't pay attention to the company that you like. Nintendo appreciates their fans. Nintendo knows how to basically show their fans that they appreciate them. So that's why I'm extremely defensive of that fact. If they've done it time and time again, showing, we appreciate our fans. So enough about that. Moving on to the next thing. Just to sum up everything, Nintendo/Pokemon Company, they need to put out some hype for Pokemon, some more hype for Sword and Shield, instead of just kind of giving us, saying, hey, here's a good analogy. Here's a shot of this amazing liquor. You can have a shot, but you gotta wait for the rest. That's kind of what they did. They fucking teased us, and it was a good tease. But now it's kind of it's dying off, and they need to bring that hype train back up. And if they don't do it by E3, I'm going to be extremely scared that they're not confident in what they put their work into. And it is kind of also a little bit shady to present yourself as this company that does not hide what they do, but yet you aren't giving us information, so therefore you're hiding things again. That's my thought process. So yeah, I really hope Nintendo's E3, which is on June 11th. Mark your calendars, guys. June 11th, 9 a.m. Pacific, 12 p.m. Eastern time. Do your math for your location. I think for me in Central time, is going to be 11 a.m. I want to say. So I'm excited about. Excuse me. So I'm excited about that. And it's going to kick off this year's Expo. So, on to the next thing, speaking of the Expo, is Final Fantasy. Final Fantasy put out a new trailer. Square Enix put out some more information at, what is it? The Sony convention. I can't remember what the fuck it is. But they basically put out more information on Final Fantasy VII. I'm hoping that they do the same here at E3, because it'll be nice to have some more information on Final Fantasy VII, the remaster. So I'm excited. I enjoy Final Fantasy. I haven't played all the way through 15. It's really hard for me to play through 15. Honestly, I should just buy the Pocket Edition for the Switch, because I really just want to experience the game. But the visuals, everyone's very chibi. And like for Final Fantasy, unless from day one it was shown off as a chibi game, then I'm not really going to want to play it. The fact that there is a better version, I own a better version on my Xbox. My only thing is it's really hard for me to hop on my Xbox, basically. It's hard for me to turn on my Xbox and sit there and want to play a game for a long period of time, because I'm so spoiled with my Switch. Like, I've spoiled myself with my Switch, and just taken up the fact that I can take gaming wherever I can go. I can sit in my bed and not have to, turn on the TV, all that work. I can just sit in my bed, turn on some music, and just play games on my Switch in my bed. Or I can go and take it out and take my Switch to work. Or I can go to a friend's house and not have to lug around on a TV or an Xbox and stuff like that. I can just bring my Switch, little carrying case, boom, I'm there. So it's really hard for me to turn on my Xbox and play and finish Final Fantasy 15. But yeah, no, I enjoy Final Fantasy. It is such an amazing game. I'm excited for Crystal Chronicles. I wish they'd just fucking put that game out, or give a release date already for Crystal Chronicles, because that game is amazing. So yeah, it's cool. That's really about like that. I should have included that into the earlier, the beginning topics, but it's part of E3, so I'm excited. I haven't read the new information. I just know that it is, it's kicking off. It's starting to look really, really good. It should be coming out this year. That's what they're saying. From what I've read online, and from like the YouTube people, the YouTube gaming info people that I get my information from, they're basically saying that it should come out this year. Late this year, but this year. So I'm excited. I'm excited to try it. So, yeah, that will do it for this week's episode of the Voidcast, guys. If you guys enjoyed it and like what you're listening to and or watching, you can go to youtube.com/OS or OLDSCHOOLDUELIST12. You can subscribe to me there. You can follow me on you can follow the podcast, listen to it on tons of other Audible platforms. The podcast goes up every Monday, audibly, at midnight on Mondays, and at noon on YouTube. I also stream on YouTube, or stream on Twitch, twitch.tv/OSDuelist12. Episodes, streaming, and everything like that is a little sporadic right now, just due to just everything going on in my life right now. I'm trying to force myself to get back into a recording schedule, and an upload schedule, just because I've gotten away from it really badly. So I'm trying to get myself back into that. I'm not forcing content out there. I'm constantly thinking about new content I can always put out for you guys, because I want to have that. I just want to make good content. Really, that's really about it. I don't care about the money, really. I just want to make good content. If I can make a living out of this, that'd be amazing, and I can only do that with your guys' help. So go subscribe, share, let me know what you guys think. Go to Twitter, at OSDuelist12, and let me know what you guys think. You can follow me on Twitch, twitch.tv/OSDuelist12. So you can find the podcast on audioboom.com, iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, YouTube. Just search the Voidcast and you can find it. But thank you guys, and have a wonderful, beautiful night, day, thing, or whatever. Thank you.